Bachar definitely helped us in a lot of ways, whether it's our religion and educating in our faith and putting prayer rooms in the stadiums and all that kind of stuff, and making people aware that, Muslims actually need certain things, and he was very courageous to speak up. The more Muslims we can have playing, it's only better for our community. The more role models we have playing at the elite level, it's going to only help our young participants coming through. We just literally want to be the best at what we do and provide a pathway for our participants and provide a hub for our Muslims.
Coming back to the faith side of things, obviously Bachar did a lot of work.
Yep.
I think when he was first in Essendon, there was a bit of unlove towards him from what we've seen in the media. And then he came to Richmond, and then that's when the Islam stuff started popping off more. Would you agree that if he wasn't there to do a lot of the hard work to promote Islam within the AFL, future Muslim players would have just had a really, really tough time, or they would have had to carry the weight? Or do you think you would have been able to lead that? Tell us the politics behind all that.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say I wouldn't have got drafted or Adam wouldn't have got drafted, but Bachar definitely helped us in a lot of ways, whether it's our religion and educating in our faith and, putting prayer rooms in stadiums and all that kind of stuff, and making people aware that, Muslims actually need certain things, and he was very courageous to speak up. So I couldn't tell you, that would have happened or that couldn't have happened. It's very hard to say, but him leading the way made it definitely easier. I don't know if he didn't get drafted, would I have? I don't know. But I know that I worked my butt off. I know I was the best player at the time in my position. I know I was, ready to be drafted. And same with Adam. Adam worked his butt off to get drafted, and he deserved it as well. And now he's, mashallah, all Australian and doing and still playing really good footy. So he was a pioneer for Muslims to get drafted for sure. Whether he got drafted or not, would I have been able to do what he did? I don't know. I would say I would have loved to, and would have been able to. Would have definitely tried, but I was lucky that I didn't have to, because Bachar already did it. He did the hard yards for us, and then Adam's done the same thing. And when I came in, I tried to educate, and Adam's been awesome at that as well. Now that he's was the only AFL player until Saad got drafted to Essendon, and Saad again, he'll be an amazing role model as well. And he's come through our programs, our Bachar Houli Foundation programs, an ex-participant, and. He's someone else that deserves his opportunity as well, because how hard he's worked, not because he's just Muslim, but he's worked his butt off to get there, and missed a few drafts as well. I definitely think Bachar made it easy from a faith perspective, but we all deserve to be drafted based on our talent and how hard we worked.
An observation about the Muslim players so far that have been in the AFL, they seem to be of the same mould.
Yeah.
Agility and size.
And speed.
Yeah, they're fast and they're small. Why isn't in the Bachar Houli Foundation, because you guys are now obviously you're the breeding ground for the next talent. Is there a ruckman coming through?
Yeah.
Is there a tall full forward coming through? Is there someone?
We lack, I don't know, in our community we lack height,
there's just
don't we?
a mold of Muslims that we keep on pumping at the same type.
Yeah, well, it's working, so hopefully we keep pumping them out. But no, we've got a couple of boys coming through our pathway at the moment. One's in their draft year this year, I'd say one's a midfielder.
Okay.
But again, small. Yeah, I thought so. But another one's actually, he's a bit of a height, he's a ruckman / tall forward.
Okay.
So he's actually, they're both at the Cannons, Hussein and Khalid, and they're doing some really good things at the moment in pre-season. We're hoping that they have a chance to get drafted. Their draft year this year, inshallah. So, one's a taller, one's a smaller, but majority are kind of medium-sized. Yeah. But it's all the same. I actually thought you were going to say, why is all the players that got drafted have similarities in names? Because we're talking about Adam and me.
Yep.
But if you look, there's Bachar Houli, and then Ahmed Saad, but then there's Adam Saad, and then now the last one, Saad El Houli.
Yeah.
So we're all intertwined.
Yeah.
We're all
connected.
All purposely done. So if you want to be drafted, make sure you name your kids Ahmed, Saad, or Adam, or Houli. Because that's the ones they're drafting at the moment.
And there seems to be a lot of sort of the more Arab background as well. There seems to be
Egyptian, Lebanese.
Yes.
But you look, we've got also Mutaz, who's Sudanese background. He's been very close to get drafted the last couple of years. He works at the foundation as well, and he's played VFL at Richmond. He's just been really unlucky. The 2 times he's been spoken about to get mid-season drafted, He's actually got injured both years, last year and this year. And he's had ripper start to the year and he gets injured. But I guess that's his nasib, but he's still working pretty hard. So, the more Muslims we can have playing, it's only better for our community. The more role models we have playing at the elite level is going to only help our young, participants coming through.
Have you ever faced any sort of racism or anything like that?
Nah, personally I haven't. I've been pretty lucky to not have to deal with any of that. I've been pretty lucky. I know Bachar had an incident, Adams had an incident, but personally, I haven't really had a standout moment, maybe in direct comments and stuff like that, but never really a stop and, point out kind of moment. So which is good.
How about the mental health of you guys, right? When you guys lose a game, a lot of athletes actually said it, like a lot of footy players that we spoke to say, like, when we lose a game, we move on. The people that are sucking the most are actually the fans. It's like when we lose a game, it's like you just go home, eat a box of pizza, call it a day.
Yeah.
But the fans are still like crying, ripping up membership cards, spitting at your photos and this and that.
Yeah.
Like, how's your mindset when you lose a game?
Yeah, look, 100% you're disappointed. And I know professional athletes are always disappointed, especially if they perform really poorly and you lose. Because you've let your team down, you let those fans down. So you're always disappointed when you lose, no matter what. But you've got a job that you need to be able to get yourself up because you need to perform 5, 6, 7 days later. If you don't train yourself to get out of that mindset straight away, well, you're going to be stuck. Being negative, you'll train poorly, you probably won't recover well, etc., etc. So you try to learn with winning or losing, not be the highest of highs and not get to the lowest of lows. If you can stay consistent in a nice wavelength, whether you win or lose, that will help. Because it's also like when you say, don't listen to all the noise in the media. Because 1 week, mate, you're the hero. Best player, how good is he? He's our future. 2 weeks later, you have 2 bad games, drop him, he shouldn't be playing. How's he playing? I'm better than him. So never take the good and never take the bad. And that's something I've always tried to tell myself. And I had a really great mentor, and I was lucky. I had Grant Thomas as my mentor in my first couple of years, and I lived with him for a little bit in my first year. I was best mates with his son, Tyson, and that's something he always taught me. Don't listen to the noise of the media, whether it's good or bad. And I remember after one game against Brisbane, that's probably the one we were talking about before, it was the only game I got 2 Brownlow votes. Kicked 4 goals. I thought, how good is this? I've played a ripper game. My name was in lights, and I got home to his house, and then I had a fair few articles saying some good things about me, and he just pulled me up and he goes, Saadi, come here, let's have a chat. We had a chat after each game, and he goes, how do you think you went? I was like, I thought I played pretty good, 4 goals, we won. He goes, but your opponent had more touches than you, and he said a couple other things, and I was like, well, yeah, you're actually right. Like, I probably should... had a couple of things to say to each other, but then what he made me realize is don't get sucked in to the hype, because next week you could perform poorly and then a negative thing comes out on you. So it was really good. He always kept me in line, always kept me perspective, and just made me always stay in that nice wavelength rather than up or down. Don't get sucked into that and don't get sucked into that. And that's what I always try to do with my performances. And win or loss, we try to do the same thing. Because if you sulk about it for 3-4 days, you got a game in 2 more days.
Yeah.
How are you going to get yourself up for that?
Fair enough. In terms of your relationship with Bachar and the foundation, all the work that you guys have done, talk to us about how that all started. Was that something that you were actively looking to play a role in, or was it just an opening that you said, look, I'm going to jump into this and get started? And we've sat from afar and viewed and just observed how it's evolved over time, and started off like a good sort of platform and a voice, I guess, for the Muslim community and all that. And now it's become its own behemoth. It's an actual institution. There's a school there, it's all that kind of stuff. So talk to us about that journey, where it started and where we are today.
Yeah, so while I was playing, I was a multicultural ambassador, and Bachar was as well, and Ali Fahur was at the AFL at the time, heading up the diversity department. And while I was playing, I did a lot of work with Bash on his programs, but also had my own little squad as well. So I was always eager to give back to my community, and then Bachar and Ali did the same thing. So how that started was in, I think, 2012. They said, how can we create more Muslim athletes, So they started an academy, just one academy, 50 players came, and they just ran it them two with a couple of volunteers. And then I came on board after I finished up probably 4 years later. And when I finished up, Ali's like, yeah, we'll get you involved in the AFL, because I was doing a lot of that multicultural work while I was playing. And then I started with Bachar and Ali. It was the three of us. And then we just had like the Bachar Houli Cup, the Ramadan dinners, and an academy. And then look at it now. We've got a foundation established, the Islamic College of Sport, 12 national programs that we run. And we've just opened up 3 new campuses for our college. So we went from year 11s last year. Now the Islamic College of Sport's got 3 year 11s and 1 year 12, rather than just the 1 year 11 last year. So we're expanding, and the foundation's doing some awesome work. And now we've got 15 full-time staff. We've got state managers in each state, and we run all our programs nationally as we do here in Victoria, and both male and female, whether it's talent, education, employment. We make sure we cover a lot of the stuff. So it's been a good ride, and I feel like we've still got a fair bit to go, and we've got a lot of ambitions to continue to grow, to help our participants, male and female.
What's the end goal with that?
The end goal, to be the best at what we do. We want to be the best foundation, Muslim, non-Muslim. We want to have a really elite established Islamic College of Sport, and we feel like we've got a unique brand there and a unique product. And we just literally want to be the best at what we do and provide, a pathway for our participants, and provide a hub for our Muslims. Whether they need employment, we want to be able to help. They need to try to get drafted, let's try to help. Let's have inter-school sports and get kids engaged in footy at school cups, and let's do that. Educate non-Muslims about our Islam with our Ramadan dinners in each state. Let's do that. So we want to be, we really want to be the best at what we do, and that's what we strive to be. And we've got great people, we've got a great team, and great people on board that are all on the same page, and we've got pretty big ambitions.